varsity graduated last year, so we've been working very hard this year on rebuilding like a new team, and a lot more first years and freshers to lacrosse are on the teams this year than before. As a team, we work very well on finding individual strengths, and then using that to decide their position on the pitch, and then we focus a lot on practicing as a team. I think a lot of people find it appealing because a lot of people haven't played before, and it's the one sport you can just completely pick up fresh at university, even if you didn't have it at school. A lot of people haven't even heard of it before, and then they get into it and love it. I think it's important to uni life because it comes like middle of the term when you've got a lot of deadlines and a lot of like stress, and it's like a really fun day where you can just forget all the pressures from university and just enjoy yourself. You should come to one of our varsity games because you're probably like a lot of people and have never seen it played before. Another good reason to come see us is you don't even have to leave campus. Like, you could have a lecture till 12 and you can still make the game. On Friday, 9th of February, girls at the Pavilion, girls game at 12, boys game at 2, whole afternoon of lacrosse, and then everybody's just going to be going out to venue straight afterwards.
Lots of exciting sports to show you today. So one of the first ones we've got coming up, which you'll have actually seen a bit of promotion for just now, is lacrosse, and in particular women's lacrosse. But I thought it'd be interesting to kind of let you know what happened last year, so you can kind of get a sense of what to expect in this year's game, which we hopefully will be bringing to you shortly, but we'll keep you updated as that happens. So last year's women's lacrosse, it's great for us Kent students because we won. I mean, of course we won, we're Kent. We always win. We're at the top of the hill for a reason. We have that higher land for a reason. So we won, and it wasn't even a moderate victory. We had the pleasure of beating Christchurch University 15-5. So I'd say that's quite a comprehensive victory. It's not as good as the year before. In 2017, we managed to have a victory of more than 20 points, which is something quite exceptional, and it really does show the strength of the squad that the University of Kent has, and the level of skill also at Christchurch, not wishing to slander them in any way. We also, men's lacrosse, we also had a good amount of success with men's lacrosse last year, which we also managed to win. Though that one was a bit more competitive, with numerous points where we were actually drawing with Christchurch. We eventually managed to pip them, so that was something to be really pleased with, and it put us in a really good situation last year, because last year after the lacrosse games we were actually leading 3-0 regarding the whole varsity bit. I mean, it was interesting, the game, because of the way we kind of competed off, because if you looked at the score results, we ended up being 6-6 in men's lacrosse, and then we went 9-6, and then we went back to 9-9, and then we eventually pipped it. So lacrosse, if lacrosse follows last year's pattern, it could be a really interesting game for us to watch, with a lot going on, and you never really know what's going to happen, so it should definitely be something fun to enjoy. So that is something to look forward to. And so that's great. And we also have football coming up later today. And football, we also had some interesting bits. Last year with women's football, CCCU went into the match as favourites, having dominated varsity for the previous 6 years. However, it didn't get off to the best start for them, as UKC took a 1-0 lead. But having talked about British football, we now have what the Americans regard as football. And we're going to be showing you some of that. And they say it's football, but they hold the ball and run with it. So I have a very adamant belief that it is not football, because football should involve the foot, not the hand. It's like they run with it. But we are going to be showing you some highlights from the game on the 3rd of February, so you won't have to hear me nattering on about my opinion of Super Bowl. Kent Falcons, I hope you enjoy. Hello, so that was some highlights from Kent Falcons. As you can see, it was a really great game, so it was something really great to watch. It happened on the 3rd of February and we won. As you'll probably notice as varsity coverage progresses, the more it goes on, the more you see that the University of Kent normally picks up quite a few victories, and Canterbury Christchurch, while it gets some, like this year it'll get basketball, no comment, because Inquirer have done a great article on it, so check that out. But they'll pick up some victories, but they'll normally take them a while. But it was a good game, so Unified, the Canterbury Christchurch newspaper, have done some great coverage, and they've kind of shown how there have been numerous injuries in that game, and there were also some great touchdowns. They also showed how the University of Kent really dominated the gameplay, because if you look, you can see that it's constantly going, they got a touchdown, they got another touchdown, they got another touchdown, that their feed is just solidly listing University of Kent touchdowns. It really does demonstrate the level to which the University of Kent was dominating play. I mean, even the score suggests this. Now, I'm not an expert on American football, so I'm not fully aware what the numbers mean. But even I know that if one side has 46 and the other has 0, it is not a good sign, because 46 is a massive number. I mean, I know that certain types of sport actually have a different way of counting their numbers, and so that means that in that sort of sport, maybe the 46 is easier to get to. Like, I realise if it was normal football and there were 46, we'd be thinking they're doing one every 2 minutes. They're really knocking them in. But even in a sport like American football, to have a score of 46-0, I mean, that is a thrashing. It's just a comprehensive thrashing. And that is really evident if you look at the way they've described it. It's touchdown after touchdown and conversions. It's just a sea of it. And it shows the aggressive nature of this, because you'll look down the list and there are so many injuries. So you just look down and it's injury this, injury that. It just seems like such a horrible, savage, aggressive sport. And they do it in such a matter-of-fact way. There's like another Kent player's down. You're thinking, they're barging into each other. They've got all this protective gear, this helmets. They're gonna be hurting each other. And they just go, oh yeah, they're down. You're thinking, if I was down because some massive hunk of a man charged at me with a helmet, I would be making a fuss, because that is gonna hurt. But they're just like, yeah, there's another one. But it really does show some of the amazing play. And they also kind of go into some of the technical bits. They mention how there were some good interceptions, but basically interceptions are because in American football you have offensive and defensive, and you kind of take it in turns to either be offensive and defensive, and then you can convert one to the other by intercepting. So they're listing interceptions, and the fact that Christchurch weren't able to take advantage of their offensive bits is how they got 0, and how the University of Kent managed to get such a high number. So the interceptions are important, and there were a few interceptions which you can kind of see also from their coverage, which was actually amazingly comprehensive. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. And also, if you look, it was domination throughout both halves. So the overall score, as I said before, was 46-0. But after half-time, it was 24-0. So it wasn't like there was dominance in one and the other. So it really made an impact. So that's something to kind of bear in mind when looking. Right.
Hi there, this is Daisy Reese, and I'm joined here today by the women's football team.
This has been quite a big year for both teams. The first team has just come up into League 1A. We now have a strong second team with enough members. So we have been trying to really tackle the leagues in different ways, and I think both teams are doing fairly well. We're building off from where we left last year.
I think from a society and club point of view, we've grown in numbers, so we've managed to double our members, which is incredible.
Yeah, and another great milestone this year is that the second team has their first ever varsity, so it's one of those games that's loved by everyone, and I think a lot of us have a history growing up with football. So coming to uni and being able to be a part of a team where everyone's really passionate about it, really makes a difference.
It's the one time where you should throw everything you have into the game 100%. You are 100% passionate, you are diving for that ball, you are fighting, you're clawing your way through. just to have that platform. I mean, because it's a platform for us to kind of just show other people that, you know, we are a women's team, but we are a very good women's team. We do play football just like how the men do. We are passionate, we are fast, and we are dedicated. And to play on this sort of platform, this big hype, this big day, it just means a lot to us because we can really just show people how far the sport has come in the university itself as well.
We really want to win, you know?
It's a good win for us.
Yeah, it's been a long run and we feel like this year is our year. It is on, well, the first team game is on the 9th of February, so it's next Friday at 5 p.m. on a 3GX pitch, that's at the Pavilion. And the second team game is on Monday at 12 p.m. also on the 3GX pitch at the Pavilion.
And what they've been involved with. Women's football doesn't often get the same level of coverage as men's football, which is a great shame because it really is a great sport to watch. It can be very rewarding, very good. I mean, you looked at how they were playing there and the skills they were playing with, and it really did look impressive, the way they were kind of moving the ball around, all that sort of play. It was definitely kind of showed the skill of the game and how it really is worth looking. And it was also great to get to hear from some of the people involved. It's always great to kind of get to engage with sports captains and sports players and actually find out what they're thinking, because often when you watch a game you kind of do the thing where you're sitting there kind of doing your sofa managing thing where you're going, they're thinking this, what are they thinking? But you actually get the opportunity to hear what they're thinking and kind of engage with them and see what they actually thought of their game, how they actually felt about how they played, and that's something that I think is really great. And it's so nice to actually see them in the studio there talking about their experiences from last year. And in fact, last year was an interesting one, I've just heard we have scored in Kent's Lacrosse, so Kent is winning. Excellent. So back onto the football. So last year, nice to look back to last year, it mentioned how it didn't get off to the best of starts, the women's football for Canterbury Christchurch side, because the University of Kent took a 1-0 lead. They said how it was an incredible effort from 30 yards. It definitely sounded like something that was worth seeing, and who knows, we might get one like that this year. It then goes on to later say how Christchurch rallied together though and piled the pressure on Kent and equalised just before half time, showing the tension and the kind of the jostling and not knowing who's going to win in the game. Then it mentioned how a high foot from the UK University of Kent player resulted in a free kick to Christchurch, who then had their very own set-piece specialist who whipped the ball in, which sounds like an amazing bit of play. They mentioned how Unified mentioned how the UKC defence couldn't deal with it and managed to head the ball into their own net. Not sounding great from the University of Kent. They mentioned how Canterbury Christchurch dominated the second half last year in women's football and how they played some really good football. They also mentioned how the crowds were rowdy with some chants from both sets of fans. And even if they did make the point that the University of Kent sometimes recycles chants, which, I mean, I'm not sure if we do, but I mean, if we do, if they're not broke, don't fix them. Famous phrase. And then it mentioned how with 10 minutes on the clock, Christchurch won another free kick and upstepped the number 8 player, Nicole Pepper. And they actually on their website have a clip of the kick and it looks like an amazing kick. And then it kind of shows the dominance that Christchurch had last year in women's football, because at the end of the game, Christchurch managed to win 3-1. So even though we're doing really well today with our result regarding lacrosse, I mean, as you can see, we're already in the lead early on. It shows that we don't always win, and there is an element of competition. And last year, this was in women's football with a 3-1 thing. But if you're into football, 3-1's a good match. There's a lot of goals, a lot of good play. So definitely, if this year can live up to last year, the women's football game should be something you should definitely be looking forward to seeing. Because, I mean, it looks so good from just the description written down online as to what happened. It just looks like a game that you could really get involved with, kind of really enjoy, lots of goals, kind of the highs, the lows, like the highs of some amazing goals like a 30-yarder, and then the lows of the kind of disappointment of an own goal. Because own goals really are disappointing is the thing, because it's the sense that you kind of let the team down because you're the one that's put it in your own net. So there is that kind of element of upset there, but it really does show how great a game that was. And you have women's football, but you also have men's football, and men's football last year was also an interesting game. They mentioned how the University of Kent actually managed to get an early start because there was a lot of pressure early on in the game, which led to Christchurch University conceding early. And they mentioned on the Unified website how Christchurch could have easily gone down 2-0 down, but fortunately for Christchurch and not for the University of Kent, a goal was ruled out for a foul on keeper Brooks. It mentioned how later on in the game, Christchurch University managed to equalise thanks to a looping header from number 5 Connor Ives, but they were quickly pinned back and conceded a free kick, meaning Kent went into half-time 2-1 up. So that showed that was a really tight game there between the men's football that year, so last year even. So that's definitely shows a good sign for what will be coming on today. And if I remember correctly, men's football will be on at 7:30. So if you're still around, definitely come in and check into that. That will be something good to look forward to based on last year. They mentioned how things got worse for Christchurch as they just couldn't find the momentum to get going in the second half. And UKC grabbed an early goal and were awarded a penalty. And so they had the chance to go 4-1 up. But they mentioned how the striker got a bit full of himself and basically didn't deliver and didn't do an amazing attempt in trying to score, so they kind of highlight that. But they mentioned how a late goal from the University of Kent sealed the victory on a tough night for Christchurch. So it shows that in football, maybe last year we didn't do as well with the women's, but we definitely had something with the men's. So there is that silver lining. So there's definitely some positives for the University of Kent based on last year's football coverage. And that was the ones, and that's all that's happening later today. And there's lots of amazing sports being played throughout Varsity. So I mean, we've got the lacrosse, which I've already mentioned something about. So aside from lacrosse, I mean, there's one of the games that I'm really looking forward to is much later on in the week. They're going to be playing some wheelchair sports, and wheelchair sports I always think are something really fun to watch. And I think it's great that in Varsity it's being so inclusive as to allow people to play and give people the opportunity to play regardless of their physical abilities. But considering lacrosse is what's currently being played, it probably makes sense to talk a bit about it. And I don't know how much any of you know about lacrosse, but I had a little go at it at school. And in essence, you basically have a stick with these two little scoopy bits at either end. So you're kind of there and you have to scoop the ball off the ground, and then you kind of hold it like this, and then you launch the thing. And the way you do it with your hands supposedly gives you power, because I've been talking to people and it's the idea of kind of how you arc your arm somehow affects how it flies. I have had people explain it to me, but they do look very silly because they spend the whole time kind of doing this, and it's to do with one hand does aiming and one hand does the other. But aside from lacrosse, we have some other things happening on KTV, because I realise that not everyone wants to watch Varsity and wants to watch sport, and some of you actually enjoy other things such as films. And so here's a promo for the KTV Film Festival. I hope you enjoy.
Mare. La mia mente era vuota. È molto calmo. Penso di poterlo sentire adesso.
Which is by a director called Iris, if I remember correctly. Now, I always get her name wrong, so she's probably going to be kind of slanting me going, you've got the name wrong, how could you possibly have got the name wrong? But I believe her name is Iris. It's Iris or Iris. I'm terrible with pronunciation of names, which is very unfortunate for a position like this. But as you can see, that is a really good looking trailer. I mean, I had the pleasure of being able to watch it while you were, and I really like the way that cinematography was done. It looks like a really kind of soothing film as well. When you listen to the music, music. It's quite relaxing. It just, the beauty in the shots, like with the way that the sea laps in, it really is some beautiful cinematography. And so if you're into that sort of thing and you're not into sport, that's definitely something you should check out. And I believe, I would need to fact check this, but I believe that music used in that trailer was actually composed for that trailer, which shows that there is actually some amazing talent behind the scenes here at KTV to produce some amazing stuff like that. And it really did look amazing. I mean, I know it was only a short little trailer, but it definitely shows the potential of things to come. And there are quite a few films that are actually going to be shown at the KTV Film Festival, which is happening on the 16th of March. And you can buy a ticket from the Gulbenkian. Not that we're plugging it in any way whatsoever, but I thoroughly recommend you go. We've got a variety of films. So we've got one film which I'm looking forward to, which is called Sweet Child of Mine, which is set in 1992. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about that. I've heard it's using some amazing tech behind the scenes. So there's a lot you can kind of get involved with to watch. The tech I've heard is amazing. There's these cameras. I think the word black magic's used, but I'm not that much of a technical person, hence why I'm sat here. So I can't really give you too much there. An update in for sport. Lacrosse, excellent news for us. We're winning 6-0. So the University of Kent's dominance, which is a common theme throughout Varsity, is continued with lacrosse. So it's really great to hear that women's lacrosse are doing so well, because they put in so many hours training and working hard. And so it's really nice to see the reward. I mean, they've also helped us out a lot, of course. So a while back we did charity fundraiser, and we went live to team families, and we produced some videos to contact them out. And one of them we did involved the women's lacrosse team, and they were very helpful in what they did and the hours they put in to help us. They've also been very good at kind of engaging with student media and talking to us and kind of letting us know what's going on there. So we feel a strong connection to women's lacrosse. So it's always nice to see people that we've worked with, people that we care about doing well. So it is a great bit. I've also heard that it is half-term, so it's a nice kind of pause, so that they'll be kind of getting their bits back, having their oranges, having their kind of refreshing bit. So at half-time, 6-0, I mean, that's a good sign. Who knows, perhaps we could get 12-0 by the end, but even 6, I mean, as long as they can keep it solid, they'll be good, because, I mean, that is a comfortable lead, and it's going to be a lot for Christchurch to climb, because 6-6 is a decent margin with the way that lacrosse works and the fact that it's not the most ridiculously high-scoring game. So it really is impressive that the University of Kent can take that much speed and do that well, because it takes a lot of skill to manage that, so it's definitely something impressive. We also have it coming up, we've got something a bit funny, which is that funny show Take on Varsity. I really hope you enjoy it, and it's coming up now.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to That Funny Show. My name is Norman Trousers by Gently, although due to it being the sports episode, I'm changing my name to Norman Shorts by Smashing.
And I'm John. I know many a type of ball.
This coming week, or in fact in the next couple of weeks, will be the varsity events that are going on campus. This will pit the University of Kent against CCCU, where they will face Great Adversity.
Oh, varsity puns. Comedy writers and sports go so well together, like Ross and Rachel, Jim and Pam, Victoria Beckham and the footballer.
Recently, in a basketball match, the CCCU second team were found to be on the shoulders of the CCCU first team. This was deemed unfair, as the first team were doing most of the legwork.
And in this year's competitive ageing championship, Neil, aged 19, has clocked in a record time of 20 years in 7.5 minutes, whereas the CCCU competitor has clocked in 15 minutes.
Can you
in the
repeat, because he
allotted
was
time,
talking?
which was 15 minutes.
And now, let's watch a sketch about the best part of a football match, the commentators.
Welcome back to our annual varsity football match. My name's Mark, your commentator for today's game. My usual commentary team, Chad and Alex, won't be here today, so I'm joined by Sarah and Emily from T24.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily,
And I'm Sarah. We left our auditions for Wicked to be here.
The people from Wicked said, we are not hiring.
Whatever. They're just jealous of our talents.
Right, so the match is about to begin and we see the players warming up on the field.
Okay. Emily, am I blind? Are there like 22 characters on that field?
Yeah, it seems like a really strange creative choice to me. Who's the director for this?
There is no director for this.
Right. Okay, I get it. It's like an ensemble device piece.
Yeah, you know, I just don't think we'll really get like a sense of the emotional depth of all of these characters because there's just so many of them.
Okay, so the game has started. UKC are playing an attacking 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder.
I'm bored of this already. I'm just not invested in these characters. What's their backstory?
Can we focus on the game here?
Physicality-wise, I don't get it.
Yes, exactly. Just like Abu Dhabi wasn't suited to the Premier League's physical style of play.
Firstly, I'm more of a Dubai person. What I'm trying to say is I don't understand why they're not utilizing their entire body. I just wish they would use their hands.
Yeah, the believability factor is just not there. I don't believe that they're soccer players.
Right, it's not allowed, and they are soccer players.
It's football. We're in Britain. God, I just feel so immersed in this culture. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh my God, are you the queen?
Yes, queen.
Yes. Oh, but if they do use their hands, it just makes for a more compelling piece of play.
It's not a play. And UKC are through on goal. He's one-on-one with the keeper. He rounds him. He scored! And the crowd cheers!
Oh, the music structure here is just so bland. You know, if they could do something kind of more like, and go, you know.
Yeah, Mark, I love the audience participation in this play, but the harmonies are just way off. It should be like, go.
Enough! You don't know anything about football. Football is not a play.
Football has the human conflict. Fans are emotionally invested in their teams.
These players are working towards a specific goal, just like actors under fictitious rules. So how's it not a play? So, when's Beyonce performing?
And I do have to say, I was really disappointed that some of my favourite sports didn't make it into Varsity this year. For instance, contact golf, synchronised tennis, and, my favourite, street magic.
Oh, yeah, and I can't believe I missed heads down, thumbs up, beach chess, and normal frisbee.
Oh, yeah, and at the last minute they admitted my personal favourite, which is outside squash. But on that note, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye and have a great tomorrow.
Funny, I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you've had enough of me rambling at you, we've got some good news because we're going to be going over to the place at, right, so we're going to go over to, right.
Varsity gets per day, don't ruin our day. Make it better. Pick them out.
I'm Jess and I'm the president of Women's Lacrosse here at Kent. Performance-wise, it's been very mixed. A few wins, a few losses. We actually lost quite a lot of our most experienced players who graduated last year. So we've been working very hard this year on rebuilding like a new team, and a lot more first years and freshers to lacrosse are on the teams this year than before. As a team, we work very well on finding individual strengths, and then using that to decide where their position on the pitch, and then we focus a lot on practicing as a team.
Okay, Matthew.
Hello.
I think a lot of people find it appealing because a lot of people haven't played before, and it's the one sport you can just completely pick up fresh at university, even if you
sport and the other's got to guess what it is.
School. A lot of people haven't really heard of it before.
Can you get me the chalkboard?
I think it's important
And
to
chalk.
life, because it comes like middle of the term when you've got a lot of deadlines and a lot of like stress, and it's like a really fun day where you can just get all the pressures from university, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, have you got something that means you can listen to CSR?
Probably like a lot of people and have never seen it played before.
Because I need to know if it goes out.
Is you don't even have to leave campus. Like,
what's in if you want to?
Yeah, so I need some feed to monitor her.
Girls at the pavilion, girls game at 12, boys game at 2, whole afternoon of lacrosse, and then everybody's just going to be going out to venue straight afterwards.
Hello, so I'm joined here with Tyler, so you won't just have to put on with me droning. You've now got somebody to drone with me.
Yes, I've been dragged out of tech to come and have a chat with Matthew because he's on his own. So yeah, that was. If you're just joining us, you have unfortunately just missed the women's lacrosse match, and the score, I'm being told, was it 10-1 to us?
I mean, that sounds good, about right, because we were 6-0 up, so that sounds like a good progression.
I've just joined in. I've been working, so I have no idea what's been going on, apart from I've been watching KTV live on Facebook and YouTube, although you're probably already watching. And yeah, 6-1 at half-time to go up by another 4 points. That's mad. That's almost unbelievable.
Oh, it was 6-love, so we've conceded one as well. So, I mean, we did well there. I mean, 6-love, to keep that up, that would have been hard. But even to manage to get 4, I mean, 1 as a concession, it kind of makes sense because you get the point where you're doing well, you're doing well, you're in that position, you get a bit cocky and then something slides. So
well, it's good to see that that Christchurch is still giving them a bit of a fight. This year's lacrosse women's team are brutal. They are really, really good. I've just been told that that's not even it yet. We do actually have more of the match to go to. So when I said you've missed it, you haven't missed the whole thing, you've just missed most of it. But we've got a bit more match to come to in a bit. But whilst we're on half-time, me and Matthew are just going to kind of chat, fill some time until we can take you back to the game. Because at the moment, all we'd be looking at is an empty pitch. So that's not the most exciting thing. I mean, we're a bit more interesting than an empty pitch.
Slightly.
Yeah. But yeah, so you've got us for another sort of 5 minutes or so, and then we are going to go into the third quarter. So, right, let's make this interesting because we don't know what to fill with this time.
Okay.
So tell me, Matthew, of all sport in the world, what is your favourite sport?
Badminton.
Why?
I was vice president of a badminton society at my host university when I did a year abroad last year.
Okay.
So when you're asking somebody that was a former vice president of a badminton club what their favourite sport is, so I mean, this is where you do your background kind of chat thing. But who cares? It's great. Badminton. What's yours?
Swimming, because I'm a former swimmer. So yeah, that was always been my favourite sport. I swam for 10 years, and which kind of is a nice link to the fact that yesterday University of Kent won the swimming overall. So Varsity, that's another point to us. We had some fantastic races out there, some really quick times out there as well. So it's nice to see University of Kent on top once again with swimming. So that's really good. And we also had Kent Dance. Are you much of a dancer?
I mean, you haven't seen me drunk, so you don't know. But sober, I'm.
Okay.
The more I have in me, the less bothered I am that I'm. So the better I become.
Next year's Varsity, we're going to have a Matthew section, and we just have to get you drunk to put you on. Okay, right. Well,
not that we're endorsing drinking culture,
no,
because that would get us in trouble. So don't do it.
But okay, so we're going to put you in dance next year. Have they got badminton for Varsity? There's a badminton team, isn't there? But I don't know if there's a Varsity.
They might do. I don't play badminton here because the amount that we do, you'll realise this when we kind of do things like this, means that I don't have time to play. It's 7 to 10 on a weekday. I like to be at home in the warm, not walking to campus and back again.
But
with
funny,
a shuttlecock.
You mentioned it actually, that it is worth actually taking just 2 seconds to say that there is so much effort going on at the pavilion. And it's not just the women out on the pitch playing the game. It's not even just the teams itself. It's what you're watching right now. We have a huge team out there running around like mad, getting cameras set up, filming Varsity, broadcasting. I mean, we're a student group. For a student TV station to create a broadcast like this is really fantastic to see so many crew members out there, really throwing it. And it's a lovely day out there. Thank God it's not snowing like it was last year. But and thank God for the teams as well, because that would be freezing. I can't imagine. I mean, having come from swimming, I never used to have to swim in the snow, so I was kind of all right there. But and badminton, I can't imagine you ever had to badmit in the. What's the swimming? Is swim.
The verb.
What's the verb?
Put to play in front of it, and then you're good.
Okay.
When you had to play badminton, I presume you never had to go out and play in the snow.
Well, it doesn't work. Have you seen a shuttlecock? They're basically, it's this feather thing and then this tiny bit of plastic at the bottom, which means if you throw it up and blow, you can move it with your mouth, with just the air you can generate. So if you do it on a windy day, you throw it up and it just goes vroom.
See, with swimming, if you're outdoors and it's too cold, you can't swim because the water just freezes. And you can't usually swim in frozen water. It's known as ice, actually.
What about underwater? Just dip under, wait
the
for the
whole
next bit.
thing's frozen.
Just wait to the next bit and then go up.
Okay, so we are coming to the end of our little, I don't know what we're going to call this segment, the name it.
Filibuster.
The filibuster section for KTV live at Varsity. So if you are watching at home, please share this stream, share it out with all your friends. If you can't make it down to the pitch side today, or you're actually sat in the pavilion, you can't quite see and you want some really close-up action, do tune in, because throughout today and throughout Monday we are going to be broadcasting to get the games. We're broadcasting this and the next, the men's lacrosse match, and we're also broadcasting women's and men's firsts football tonight. And then on Monday we're also going to be covering all the hockey matches over at the Astro in the pavilion. So we are coming to the end of our section slowly. It is nice to go and actually back over and see. I do know this evening that we have got some interesting commentary teams. You will notice that right now, if you are listening as well as watching to us, that we do not have any commentary. However, this evening, we have two commentary teams, one for the women's football and one for the men's football. The men's football commentary team are really, really hyped up. They're going to give you a really interesting game to listen to. So even if you can't watch us, make sure that you listen to us as well, because we're going to have some fantastic commentary for that. The commentary for the women's football, however, it's certainly going to be interesting. It's going to be myself and Harry Walton. And an interesting fact that people don't care, but is interesting about me, it's not interesting about me. I have never, in my life, watched a game of football.
How?
4 minutes is the most I've ever watched.
Right.
I know there's a ball.
Yep.
And there's usually two ends.
Yep.
That's about it. And measurements are usually done in
Yes!
football pitches. Yes! That's about all I know. I'm just nearly destroying us there. That's what a football looks like, for those that don't know. Are there normally that many balls in a football match?
I mean, no, there are multiple balls, but there's only ever one on the pitch. They just have a load on standby, so if you kick one into the stands, you can get another one on quickly.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to be learning all about football tonight, and Harry Walton assuredly tells me that he's not watched a game since 2006. So I don't know, has the ball changed since 2006?
I mean, they change it for special tournaments. They have a special ball because people like to sponsor.
Do they go like bigger and like big balls, and small balls?
Different designs.
Okay, so like long and golf ball. So that's for golf.
Yeah.
I know that much.
So you see how they've got that kind of traditional hexagon and pentagon based football?
Yeah.
Well, what they do is they have various designs, so they kind of make it look prettier, so you might get some weird kind of loops and whatnot. And it's just anything. So I think the Euro 2004, it was a grey ball with a black cross on it.
Oh, okay.
So it basically not your stereotypical ball.
Do you know if we've got a varsity ball?
Something that stands. I don't know if we've got a varsity ball, but the ball that you saw in the women's football, if you were watching earlier, did look different to that ball. So you do get a variety of ball designs. That's just your stereotypical football ball.
Okay.
But so we could get an interesting ball design.
Well, so I can commentate about that for the first 60 minutes or so. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting match because the men's football are going to have a really professional team that know exactly what they're talking about. They're going to know all about football and the way in which football works. However, me and Harry are going to attempt to learn football by learning from the best two teams in Canterbury, the women's Canterbury Christchurch and University of Kent first teams. So that's going to be really, really exciting to watch and listen to. So definitely tune in for that. So, I don't know what to say now.
Well, I mean, so we've got women's football coming up, and we mentioned earlier, I don't know if any of you were here for that, what actually happened last year. And the women's football in the women's, we had a strong lead for Christchurch, and for the men's, we had a strong lead for Kent. So it'll balance out interestingly, and both games had a lot of good play. We kind of covered that earlier. So there definitely should be something to look forward to, so you should stick around. But
yes,
that's kind of... That's a while off, but we have hopefully got lacrosse coming up sooner.
Yes.
And as you are aware, we've been kind of filtering you the scores. So there's definitely something interesting to see there with lacrosse. I mean, are you looking forward to any bit?
Absolutely. I'm not too familiar with lacrosse, so it's going to be really interesting to watch. We're actually going to go over just in a second. We're going to have a watch, and we're going to try and learn a lot about lacrosse, and then hopefully when you come back, we'll actually know what's going on. So please enjoy lacrosse and keep watching. I did have breakfast this morning. I went over to Nero and bought a disgustingly expensive but delightfully delectable sausage, bacon, and cheese back. But I didn't expect there to be sausage, so that was a delightful surprise. And I had a cup of tea. And the cup of tea I had was, is that alright? Can I stop talking?
Hi, I'm KG and I'm president of women's basketball this year as well as the coach.
And I'm Louisa, I am vice president of women's basketball and the captain.
Last year's was unfortunate because we lost, but I got injured I think the week before, which was hard to handle and to watch my team kind of play without me.
I mean, this year obviously we've got a different coach, we've got new players. We've already beaten Christchurch once this year in our league, training a lot more, so I think feeling positive about this year's varsity.
This year's training process has been interesting. Just me being thrown, kind of just leapt into the coaching position. But the girls have been really good. They've been putting in the work that they need to put in because I yell at them if they don't. But it's been good so far.
Yeah, so we're training 4 times a week as well as games, so we are putting in the work.
So Canterbury, Christchurch, and the University of Kent, our teams are very different. Like, we're both like athletically gifted, obviously, but we play differently. We kind of handle the game differently. Our tactics and stuff are different, and I think that kind of adds to the rivalry between us because we kind of see ourselves on 2 different ends of the spectrum.
Varsity is pride. Yeah, the game is just a matter of pride. You want to win. You want to beat your rival, CCCU.
Just seeing the support of people like actually coming to see us, because obviously like being a women's sport, like our games are like maybe 5 or 6 people come to watch, but I think varsity kind of adds to the overall experience of being like an athlete, just seeing like people coming out to support you.
We'll see you on Sunday the 17th of February at 5 p.m. at KTV Christchurch Sports Centre. Be ready because we're coming for you.
Get scared! We're coming. We're taking it back. We're taking what you took for the past 2 years.
I need. Can you get me?
I swear to God, Frank. How long are these sick days gonna last? You're just like your mother!
Wait, mate, you're done in there. You've been in there for the last 10 minutes. Are you planning on coming out? Seriously, would you hurry up?
Hey guys, and welcome back to KTV live from Varsity. We are not at the pavilion, but we are currently on the break between the third and fourth quarter. So, you've got me and Matthew for the next sort of 5-10 minutes, and we've got an interesting little game that he doesn't really know too much about, but we're going to give it a go. Our set designers have given us this. So this is a chalkboard.
Right.
That has already been used, as you can see. I was
Yeah.
writing things on it earlier. So can I give you that for a second? And
Feel like your
this-
glamorous assistant.
Exactly. Is chalk. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours. And what we're going to do, we're going to play Pictionary.
Right.
But it's going to be sports related. So
Okay.
do you want to draw first or do you want me to draw first? And you've got to guess what each other's sport is.
You can draw first, because it's your idea.
Okay. I'm going to forget every sport. It's not going to be swimming, so I don't know how we're going to... camera team, help. Can you see... Right, can we... Can I do it upside... Should we do it upside down to make it more interesting?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, right.
I'll just laugh at you.
Pick me a colour.
Let's go red.
Let's go red, right. I've got to think of a sport now. Oh. Okay, the producers have just told me, but they can't tell me that because you're on talkback,
I can
so you
hear
can
as
hear
well.
it.
This is great. Please keep giving ideas.
Oh, let's...
I mean, I could give you ideas as well if that helps.
No, let's do... Oh, I know, because this is a nice and easy one. Okay, I'm going to do it upside down. Okay, you ready? Right.
I forgot you were left-handed. I'm going to have to lean.
Yeah. 2, 1.
Is this lacrosse? No, it's hockey.
Yes!
Yay!
Hockey. Is that the right way around? Yeah, that says hockey. Right. So, this, if you're just tuning in now, we are not actually watching hockey. We're about to go back and watch lacrosse again. Tune in between little breaks, and we're going to have a few games of Pictionary, sports related. So, what we're actually going to go watch is...
I'm so glad you're writing.
Lacrosse.
2 S's.
So, please enjoy lacrosse, if you can read that.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right, can you tell me what the score was?
Those go from referees. Genuinely just saw it. Right. Yeah, I know, I've got the chat open, I can
see. Glorious. The pavilion, which is pretty cool. Oh, what a match. That was insane. Never watched lacrosse before. That was a wild ride. Wow, and you feel that UKC pride with the chants. I definitely have and the UKC winning. Pride right now. So much UKC pride. What did you make of it? I thought it was such an intense game. Yeah, I've never watched before. So I'm one of those people that didn't actually know what lacrosse was about until I came to uni. That was amazing. I mean, ladies, hats off to you. What a game. The speed. That game, it went 0 to 100 so quickly each time. You couldn't just rest on your laurels when you were watching. You had to be, you couldn't help but be intensely involved. That's exactly it, you know. I mean, the thing for me, right, is that I've only just sort of found out a bit about lacrosse this week through the filming we've been doing for KTV. Of course. So actually, for me, learning about the no contact rule and things like that, because men's lacrosse has contact, women's doesn't. Really? And I was like, well, I wonder how that's going to affect the game. But actually, that was just rough. That was intense. Brutally rough. And even abiding by the rules, it was violent almost. it was on that fine line. How incredible. I know. I mean, it was absolutely such a brilliant game. And I got to say, I'm also really excited for the next game, because as you can see behind us, the men are warming up, which is a lovely view for me, by the way. Cheeky sneak peek of the men warming up. And so we get another game of lacrosse. And now I'm so pumped for it. And now I know some of the rules and I understand the game a bit better. I'm extra excited, if that's even possible, to be even more excited right now. Cool. I think we're going to go to a clip soon. Which is really quite cool. And then you're going to come back to us and we're going to be so excited to see the next game of lacrosse. I'm ready for more lacrosse. Yes, it's going to be awesome. Enjoy. We'll be with you really shortly.
Hi, Mel, it's Jen. I know I said I wasn't going to ask you this again, but is there any chance you could pick up Tom after school? I mean, I'm not going to be done until about 4 and... Oh, thank God for that. You're a lifesaver. So he finishes school at 3:30 again as usual, and don't be held up by Mr. Barrett. He's got dinner in the fridge and you can just help yourself to any food you like.
Which one's Mr. Barrett again?
Oh, young one, funky hair, self-obsessed. Will do, cheers. Thanks. I'll see you tonight.
Hi there, this is Daisy Reese, and I'm joined here today by the women's football team.
This has been quite a big year for both teams. The first team has just come up into League 1A. We now have a strong second team with enough members. So we have been trying to really tackle the leagues in different ways, and I think both teams are doing fairly well. We're building off from where we left last year.
I think from a society and club point of view, we've grown in numbers, so we've managed to double our members, which is incredible.
Yeah, and another great milestone this year is that the second team has their first ever varsity, so it's one of those games that's loved by everyone, and I think a lot of us have a history growing up with football. So coming to uni and being able to be a part of a team where everyone's really passionate about it, really makes a difference.
It's the one time where you should throw everything you have into the game 100%. You are 100% passionate, you are diving for that ball, you are fighting, you're clawing your way through. Just to have that platform, because it's a platform for us to kind of just show other people that, we are a women's team, but we are a very good women's team. We do play football just like how the men do. We are passionate, we are fast, and we are dedicated. And to play on this sort of platform, this big hype, this big day, it just means a lot to us, because we can really just show people how far the sport has come in the university itself as well.
We really want to win,
It's a good run for it.
Yeah, it's been a long run, and we feel like this year is our year. It is the first team game is on the 9th of February, so it's next Friday at 5 p.m. on the 3GX pitch, that's at the Pavilion. And the second team game is on Monday at 12 p.m. also on the 3GX pitch at the Pavilion.
KTV, I'm Maisie.
I'm Francesca, hi.
Yes, we just saw the men's football there. Lovely, lovely clip shot by our beautiful KTV volunteers during the week. I'm excited for the football game.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm in a sporty mood now. I'm on a roll. There's no stopping me.
I know. I want to go get burger and chips. And
Make
just,
a proper
enjoy
day
some
of it.
sport.
Yes.
This is the way. This is the way. I'm ultra pumped to see their game. I love football myself.
You already know the rules, you know what to look out for, you know what makes a great match for you.
Exactly, and I'm ready to cheer for UKC. Coming off that lacrosse game as well from women's, we just saw a bit earlier live. I am excited, and I think we can continue this winning streak, UKC.
Yeah, once you're on a roll, there's no stopping you. It's going to be UKC. UKC's smashing it this year, absolutely killing every sport.
The score for lacrosse was 21-3 to us.
That is
so
that's
a pretty
win.
good start to the day for us, I have to say.
Yeah.
What other matches are you looking forward to today?
Oh my goodness, I think mainly football. Lacrosse was my go-to. I was so keen to learn more about it and to really, really get involved this year. And it's my year for sports. It's UKC's year for sports.
This is it. I think we're having a really good varsity. I have to say, what I am loving as well is seeing the teamwork and the camaraderie between both sides. We've always had a rivalry with
Oh,
CCU.
there's no denying it. Have you heard the chants, Maisie? Have you heard the chants?
I know.
We're going to the specifics of them, but I
don't think we can repeat some of them.
This is why I'm hesitant. I'm not sure it's...
But literally, I am loving the teamwork and the camaraderie.
Yeah, you should hear the girls. Oh, sorry.
We've got some really exciting stuff as well that was shot this week at the Super Bowl with American football.
That was incredible, the atmosphere.
This is
Enjoy.
Alex from KTV.
It's going to be great.
We are here at Woody's to cover the Super Bowl. They're all super busy. How do you feel?
I hope the Rams win. I still hope the Rams win.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you excited for the game tonight?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I actually don't know what's going on. I'm just here to get drunk with my friends.
So, how do you feel about the game tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty lit. How are you?
Excited for the game tonight?
Yeah?
So how do you feel about the game tonight?
I hope the Rams win. I had enough of Brady winning, so.
What about you?
I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, it's Alex from KTV. Today we're interviewing people about the game. So maybe you can just introduce yourself first.
Yep. I'm Malachi Beasley. I'm number 85.
So how do you feel about the game?
It was a really good game, and just the energy that was there and the ambiance of the crowd being there was really nice.
Back with
Hector and Fez.
So how do you feel about the game?
Okay, so varsity game today was quite fun. It's the most fun that we have playing in quite a while, actually. It was the most complete game I think that we played as a team this year. So far, like, we could beat Imperial by a lot of points and score a lot of points on them, but this was a tougher game. Christchurch is always a tough game. Our past 2 or 3 games have actually been quite close, and I think today we got our competitive spirit going and things went our way.
We've had our first loss in a long time last week, so today there was a bit of hesitation from a few players, but as soon as the first whistle went, everyone was ready to play and everyone committed 100%, and we came away with a big win because of that.
Well, and about the game tonight, how do you feel about it?
Super Bowl is always a very exciting event. Rams have a very explosive offense. We'll love to see them playing. Hopefully Todd Gurley is good to go.
I really want the Rams to win, but it will be stupid to bet against the Patriots, so I'm going for a Patriot win.
Hi, I'm Alex from KTV. Maybe you could just introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Ben Nichols and I'm the first string quarterback for the Kent Falcons.
How do you feel about the varsity game?
We thought it was going to be close coming off our loss against Queen Mary, but the boys were firing on all cylinders and everything seemed to work and go our way.
Yeah, what did you think about your opponents?
Christchurch always offer us a good game. I mean, they play with a lot of heart, especially with the Canterbury rivalry. It's hard because their players are nice. I mean, they talk a real good game, but at the end of the day, we come up with the tackles and the plays, so best team wins, I suppose.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers, yeah.
And maybe I just want to ask you about the game that is played tonight. How do you feel about the Super Bowl? Who do you support?
I'd like to see Tom Brady win and then retire. I don't like the Patriots, but the Rams are the NFC, and as I'm a Saints fan, I'm a little bit sore about our playoff win, but as it goes, Sean McVay's a good coach and he's got a pretty good team, so I hope the Rams win.
So are you excited for the game tonight?
I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. I really hope the Rams win. I mean, my heart's for the Rams, my head's for the Patriots at the minute.
There's a big crowd out here. It's all popping off. The beer's cheap, so yeah, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying the atmosphere. I'm absorbing it.
Hey, so maybe how do you feel about the Super Bowl? That's your thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's our thing. I can't wait to see the Patriots win.
So how do you feel about the game?
Oh yeah, it was a really good game. Boys all showed up today. Great result. Bounced back from last week.
Everyone, perfect team effort. Everyone participated, and that's perfect result for a varsity game. So yeah.
And how do you feel about the game that is played tonight?
I'm very excited for it. Tom Brady going to get his 6th ring. Patriots, the dynasty's going to continue. That's all that matters.
Yeah. We always win. We are the best. Literally, we are the best.
Studio with my talkback's just gone with me, Tyler, and Matthew. So we are actually going to, whilst I sort my earpiece out, play yet another round of Varsity Pictionary. As you can see there, I presume that's the right way around. The score from the last game was 21-3 to the University of Kent, so that's really, really good. To see University of Kent coming out on top because, of course, we are subtly University of Kent supporters, I think.
I wasn't that subtle if you were watching earlier, and I haven't been that subtle now.
So, we are actually going to play another round of Varsity Pictionary. I'm going to clean this up for you, and this time Matthew's going to give it a go, and I am going to attempt to work out what he is drawing. I'm going to leave the KTV logo on there because branding. Right, there you go. I'm going to give you...
And we're visible on screen. Excellent.
What colour?
Oh dear.
Green. There's green. So, right.
Okay.
Pick a sport, and I'm going to try and guess what it is. Ready?
Okay.
Go. Football.
No.
Basketball.
No. Why? This is when you realise I'm quite meticulous.
Oh my god.
Right.
Is it the thing where you throw the head in the cup and... Is it badminton?
Yes!
You can't just
And I've just rubbed it off with my hand.
Shock, you did straight to badminton. For those that didn't listen earlier, badminton is his favourite sport, so of course he had to go for that.
I know, it's on me. Look
Yeah,
at my
it goes.
lovely-
Chalk goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, come on, let's
There
give
you
it a
go.
go. Let's do a sport that's going to be a little bit
I'm
more
gonna be
difficult.
green like an ogre with my hands.
Yeah, that's fine. There you go. Right.
Rub it on me.
So, let's go for blue, because we haven't done a blue one yet. You ready? Right, so, I've got another sport. You're going to have to bear with me, because it's left-handed. Oh, my earpiece keeps coming out. I'm going to switch my earpiece round to this here. Hold me chalk.
Hold your chalk, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, this
See,
is
now
not...
I'm blue.
This isn't... Is this technical
I'm gonna be a
difficulties,
Smurf.
or is this... What's the other word that's not technical difficulties?
I don't know, but the shuttlecock
Presenter
really
difficulties.
hasn't gone yet.
Oh,
You
for
can
God's sake.
really
Oh, well,
see the
I will
shuttlecock.
incorporate it into my next one. Right, you ready?
Okay.
3 is upside down. 2, 1. All right. Oh, I've made a mess. Do you know what it is yet?
Rugby.
No! Oh, I can see how that's rugby. Do you know what it is? You've got to keep
Boxing.
guessing. Yes!
Yes.
And there's the ropes. There's 4 ropes in boxing.
You counted them.
Yes. Well, there's one there. There's a second one. There's a third one, and there's one beneath the third one.
Okay.
That means there's 4. So these are 2 boxers, not the dogs, the sports people. So yeah, there we go. So that will, I guess that means we have no way of scoring this. So I guess that means it's 2 to Matthew.
Yes.
I've just drawn a number 2 backwards. How do I? Two. There we go. So, as professional as we are here at KTV, there's my picture of boxing. We can't really get a good view on that. There we go. That's out of focus. Right, Matthew, it's your turn to give it a go. So you need to take the chalk. I will clean it off for you.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. Try and come up with a really obscure sport. Let's make this interesting for our viewers at home. If you're watching at home, give us suggestions as to what to draw, and also join in, because I'm useless at this game and it's more fun.
There's got to be something abstract I can pick.
Right, pick a sport that you have never watched before in your life, but you have heard about. Sorry about this, viewers.
Yeah.
I've got to put my earpiece back in. I'm covered in chalk.
I've got to do one that's... I'm going to do one that you're not going to have heard of, because that'll make it funner, won't it?
Yes. Oh, I've got one for later.
Oh.
Ready?
Yeah, let's
3,
try this.
2, 1, go. Football.
No, unlike you, I do actually watch some sport.
Oh, is it the game where you're... what's the sport? Producers, tell me. Where there's trampolines and basketball trampolining. Rowing.
Oh.
What is this? Golf.
No, I don't know if you'll get this. I really need more than one colour.
Bowls.
Sort of. Right idea.
Bowling.
Think
Bowling.
Chair
bowling.
It's got a name similar to bowls, but I don't know if you'll have heard of
Stick
it.
bowling. Croquet.
No. Also, what are they doing? But this is a clue, because it's not a...
Sit down.
Yeah, why would you be sat down and why would you have a ramp?
Chair ball.
Why
Chair
would you
bowling.
be sat down? Think about why you might need to sit down.
My legs hurt.
Think more as to why you have to sit down.
Lifeguarding. Those are the children.
No.
And that's how I lifeguard.
It's Paralympic before you say legs hurt. It's a Paralympic
Parabowling.
sport. Similar. There's a name for this particular type.
I mean, come on. Bowling is bowls. Is it bowling?
It's like bowls, but it's got a slightly different...
Give me the first letter.
It's B. I really hope I got this right now. But they did a demonstration with this at my school for the Olympics and Paralympics.
But bowling.
No, I'm trying to think of words it sounds like. This is
You don't even know what it is.
I know.
He doesn't even know what it is.
I know what it is, and I'm trying to think of words it sounds like. It sounds like focaccia. That works, like the bread.
It's focaccia bread, ladies
It begins
and
with
gentlemen.
B and it sounds like the bread. I was trying to think of something that had that noise in it.
Producers, help me out. I don't know what this is he's drawing. Can you see that?
I think everyone's a bit lost.
Do you even know what it is?
Shall I reveal?
Yes. Boris.
Boccia.
Boccia.
I believe that's what it's called.
You believe that's what it's called?
I'm pretty certain that's what it's called.
Okay.
I actually saw this at the Paralympics, so technically I have seen this, but I saw this live, and what they do is, because certain people, because of their mobility and they can't actually even bowl, is they have a ramp and they tell somebody where to position the ramp, and then because they can only move their head, they knock the ball down with their head, and that does power.
So that's really interesting.
I thought it's a sport that you would never have seen, probably never have heard of,
That's
and it's
very true.
a lovely Paralympic sport.
Yeah.
And we even have Paralympics at Varsity, because they've got wheelchair rugby coming up later in the week, so it shows that you can participate in sport regardless of your ability, and even if you have what people would regard as limitations, you can still play in the Olympics.
Oh, I like that. Right, quick, we've got like a minute and a half to do one more round. Hold the chalk whilst I rub it off. We're going to do one more. Oh, I don't know.
Probably not as hard as that one.
No, I can't think of any good sports now. Let's go for another colour before we switch on over. Let's go back to green. I need to think of a sport. Think of a sport. Think of a sport. Think of a sport. All sports in my mind have just gone out of my head. Thank you. What's a good sport?
I mean, if I tell you, it will defeat the object.
Let's do a really easy one.
Right.
Okay, ready? This is going to be speed round. 3. I still can't come up with 1. 2. 1.
Oh, is it netball?
No.
Basketball?
Yeah. It's got a really big hand.
Is that the hand or the ball?
Yeah, so there is our basketball. So basketball is coming up in the next few days or weeks or so. So that's basketball. I can't spell basketball. But yes, so join us for more Pictionary, because we have, this is a really thought out game. I think next we'll do Hangman.
Okay.
So that could be very interesting. But yeah, I think it's time actually to go back to the pavilion, and we're going to take a look at, what have we got? Is it men's lacrosse next, isn't it?
I think we just got to wait a bit before we go over to them. So maybe, shall I do another one and I won't draw a disproportionate hand?
Okay.
Not slating your hand drawing, but I mean, genuinely, it looks like steroids and more.
That is a wonderful drawing of it. I can't get that close. Can we cut to camera 1 or 3, and let's show our lovely viewers at home what? Hurry up! Come on! Well, I'm looking like you make me look like a right muppet live on TV.
I mean,
holding. Oh my god!
No offence, but it doesn't take much. I'm not that I'm slagging you off in any way.
Come on. No,
right.
not put that
I'll
on,
hold the green.
On the table. Okay. There we go.
Right.
Keeping the KTV logo in the corner. Yeah.
Okay. I won't do one as harsh this time.
Okay. Well, I don't know why my earpiece keeps falling out, but I am sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what harsh one shall I do this time?
Football.
I don't know why I'm doing jingles, but
3, 2,
1. Let's be lazy.
Go. Olympics.
Yes.
That's not a sport.
Okay, I've
got one. I've got one.
Panicked.
I've got one. Before the studio cuts us off.
I panicked,
I've got one.
so I did the Olympic rings.
Right. Ready? Let's go.
Okay. I feel pressure. What? Handball.
No.
Softball.
No. The thing where he.
It's that shot put thing.
Yeah.
Yes!
Shot put. There we go.
Yes!
Great. Yes! I don't think we have shot put here at Varsity, but right. So after that, it is time, I think, to go back over to the pavilion, and we are going to be taking a look at men's lacrosse. So please do enjoy that. Please keep watching and comment below if you are watching from home. Thank you very much and enjoy. Bye. Don't count down from 20. Christ.
USA! my goodness, UKC is so good.
I'm Kaylee and I'm captain of the women's rugby team here at Kent. We train 3 to 4 times a week. We'd kind of do 2 contact sessions, so that's tackling, rucking, stuff like that. 1 session where we do lining practice, like lines, tactics, and then we tend to do like a gym session, like strength and conditioning, because obviously it takes quite a lot of strength to play rugby. When you have the ball, you score a try. So when you're attacking, you're passing the ball backwards, you kind of have to keep it within your possession. So like it's a team sport, so each position in the team has a different role to play in keeping possession of the ball and scoring tries. So if you attack, you want to keep the ball, you want to be good at passing the ball, stuff like that. And if you're defence, which is when you don't have the ball, you kind of want to be like a really strong defence together, making tackles, supporting each other and stuff like that. Each role is kind of different, but the main idea is to score a try and not let the other people score a try. In rugby, obviously there's a lot of rules. You're not allowed to pass the ball forwards, you have to pass backwards. You're not allowed to tackle high, so always tackle people low. You don't want to go above the shoulders. You don't want to be offside, so the offside rule is kind of difficult. Generally, you don't want to be in front of the ball. People should come watch Varsity because it's like the most hyped game of the year. We train for Varsity, you know, we tell the girls from day one, like, you know, the rest of the year is practice. Varsity is the game we want to play. This year we just want to go in, we're going to be strong, we're just going to try our best, and it's just super hyped and like so much fun. So it'd be like amazing to have the support with us as well. So our team at the moment is looking pretty good. Our forwards are pretty strong, our scrums are looking really good at the moment as well. Overall, nothing negative.
That's all right. Just so what you've got to do. So what you've got to do is.
Hi, I'm KG and I'm president of women's basketball this year as well as the coach.
And I'm Louisa, I am vice president of women's basketball and the captain.
Last year's was unfortunate because we lost, but I got injured I think the week before, which was hard to handle and to watch my team kind of play without me.
I mean, this year obviously we've got a different coach, we've got new players. We've already beaten Christchurch once this year in our league, training a lot more, so I think feeling positive about this year's varsity.
This year's training process has been interesting. Just me being thrown, kind of just leapt into the coaching position. But the girls have been really good. They've been putting in the work that they need to put in because I yell at them if they don't. But it's been good so far.
Yeah, so we're training 4 times a week as well as games, so we are putting in the work.
So Canterbury, Christchurch, and the University of Kent, our teams are very different. Like, we're both like athletically gifted, obviously, but we play differently. We kind of handle the game differently. Our tactics and stuff are different, and I think that that kind of adds to the rivalry between us because we kind of see ourselves on 2 different ends of the spectrum.
Varsity is pride. Yeah, the game is just a matter of pride. You want to win. You want to beat your rival, CCCU.
Just seeing the support of people like actually coming to see us, because obviously like being a women's sport, like our games are like maybe 5 or 6 people come to watch, but I think varsity kind of adds to the overall experience of being like an athlete, just seeing like people coming out to support you.
We'll see you on Sunday the 17th of February at 5 p.m. at KTV Christchurch Sports Centre. Be ready because we're coming for you.
Get scared! We're coming. We're taking it back. We're taking what you took for the past 2 years.
I'm Kaylee and I'm captain of the women's rugby team here at Kent. We train 3 to 4 times a week. We kind of do 2 contact sessions, so that's tackling, rucking, stuff like that. 1 session where we do lining practice, like lines, tactics, and then we tend to do like a gym session, like strength and conditioning, because obviously it takes quite a lot of strength to play rugby. When you have the ball, you score a try. So when you're attacking, you're passing the ball backwards, you kind of have to keep it within your possession, So like it's a team sport, so each position in the team has a different role to play in keeping possession of the ball and scoring tries. So if you're attack, you want to keep the ball, you want to be good at passing the ball, stuff like that. And if you're defence, which is when you don't have the ball, you kind of want to be like a really strong defence together, making tackles, supporting each other and stuff like that. Each role is kind of different, but the main idea is to score a try and not let the other people score a try. In rugby, obviously there's a lot of rules. You're not allowed to pass the ball forwards, you have to pass backwards. You're not allowed to tackle high, so always tackle people low. You don't want to go above the shoulders. You don't want to be offside, so the offside rule is kind of difficult. Generally, you don't want to be in front of the ball. People should come watch Varsity because it's like the most hyped game of the year. We train for Varsity, you know, we tell the girls from day one, like, you know, the rest of the year is practice. Varsity is the game we want to play. This year we just want to go in, we're going to be strong, we're just going to try our best, and it's just super hyped and like so much fun. So it'd be like amazing to have the support with us as well. So our team at the moment is looking pretty good. Our forwards are pretty strong. Our scrums are looking really good at the moment as well. Overall, nothing negative to say, so we're really excited. For CCU, like, we're excited to play you guys. I think we're a pretty strong team, so I think we're ready. So our match is on Wednesday, the 20th of February, and kickoff's at 5. So it'd be amazing if we could get as much support as we can. The men go just after us, so make an afternoon of it. Come watch the ladies, come watch all of our hard work coming into play. It would be great to see as many faces as possible to come support us.
Mare. La mia mente era vuota. È molto calmo. Penso di poterlo sentire adesso.
You can't just pull it.
There was.
Oh,
No,
we're
no,
just
she's
gonna.
untying it. But,
You got to keep it taut so it doesn't drop.
huh?
You got to keep it pulling it so it doesn't drop down